back. It's Joanne the nutritionist. Video of how I came to know that I was pregnant, and today it's a continuation of that video. Okay, and actually, where are you watching me from? Because I'm in Meru, I'm chill, I'm sitting down. The weather is so cold right now, but actually we thank God for everything. And to me, it was a shock because I had been doing those tests and I was not getting anything. So I looked at my hubby and wondered, what am I going to do? Because after we got the tests, after we got the test and came home, my hubby was to go to work in Chuka. So he went and I was left in the house. So when I was taking the test, he was not around. So I took the test in my house. I was worried. I was confused. I don't even know what I was feeling. I was happy. I was confused. I was excited. I don't even know the feeling that I had. But actually, I was really grateful that I was pregnant because I really needed a baby. It was that time that you really needed a baby. So I called him. I said, let me call him. And I was even having mixed feelings like my hubby's not around. What if I tell him and he says that he was not ready for the baby? What would I do? What if he refused the baby? So those were the thoughts running into my mind before I called him. But I said, okay, let me man up and call him. So I called him and I told him, guess what? I am actually pregnant. He was shocked. He was also shocked. And he started telling me, wewe usinidanganye, don't lie to me. Because don't lie to me. So I told him I'm not lying and actually took a photo of the test and sent it to him. And he texted me back and said, baby, I am so excited that you are having a baby. And I felt, oh my God, I was so relieved. I was so happy. I started calling my friends and told them that I was pregnant. And that's where my journey started. So the holiday finished. I went back to work. And to my surprise, I didn't know that my pregnancy would be really, really stressful. Really, really. It was just really, that pregnancy actually disturbed me a lot. So when I went back to the hospital where I was working, thank God the boss was really understanding. And the first trimester of my pregnancy was actually the hardest because I didn't know. After the first 4 weeks were okay. So I discovered that I was pregnant when I was around 5 weeks. So the place that I was working that time was really stressful. It was really busy. The hospital is extremely busy. So I was training, and the first 3 months when you strain, it's really not good for the baby. So I think the pressure that I had of going to work early and coming too late was actually distressing my body and the baby that I was carrying. So what happened is that I started I can't remember what happened, but I started feeling like when I was 5 weeks, I started feeling like my body was not okay. I used to feel really tired. I didn't feel like going anywhere. Now something else happened. So at 6 weeks, at 8 weeks, actually I remember I was inside the house. I was sleeping. It was on a Thursday. We were okay. The job was not really busy, so that Thursday I told my colleagues that they should cover for me so that I can at least get some bit of sleep. And they were just very understanding colleagues, so they gave me an off day. So actually I remember I was in my house, in my bed. That day I didn't feel like waking up. I was in bed. So to my surprise, as I was sleeping, I was on my phone. As I was sleeping, I felt something really weird down there. I felt like, and I wondered, Connie, what is wrong? I felt something hot touch my body, and I wondered, could those be my periods? And I am pregnant, and you're not supposed to have periods when you're pregnant. So I decided to get out of bed. Hey, guys, to my surprise, when I just stood up, damu, blood was gushing down my legs, and I started crying. I started asking God, what is this? I started wondering, why am I bleeding? And I am pregnant. I cried, and I started asking myself, now God, you gave me this child and you want to take him or her back. So the first thought that came is I should call my parents, because I didn't have anyone around the plot to call. So I called my mom. She didn't pick up the phone. I called my dad. She didn't pick up the phone. I called my sister. She didn't pick up the phone. Now the only option that was left was to call my boss, the doctor. And remember, I was not at work. Actually, I had skipped going to work. So I just said, I don't care. I need my baby to be well. So I called him up. And I told him, I remember what I told him. Daktari, I am bleeding. I don't know what is wrong, but I am bleeding. And I am pregnant. I don't know what is wrong. So I was crying, and the doctor on the phone was asking me, why are you crying? What is wrong? So I told him I am pregnant and I am actually bleeding. So the doctor told me, just calm down, Doreen, calm down. You're going to be well. Where are you? I told him I'm in my house. He told me, that's when he told me, just do this, get ready, get out of the house. I'll call a gynecologist right now and you're going to see him right now, okay? I told the doctor, okay. I went to the bathroom. Actually, the blood was still coming out. So the doctor told me, do this, just take a pad, put it on, and take a shower, dress up, come see the gynecologist. That's what I did. I went to the bathroom, I took my bath, I put on my pad, I put on my clothes, actually really fast, and within like 10 minutes I was done. I called a boda, which is not okay to call a boda when you're almost having a threatened miscarriage. So that time, the place as I was in was far from the town. So I called a boda, and the boda came. So we went to the hospital where Daktari, the physician, had told me to go to the gynecologist. All through, I was actually crying. And do you know why I was crying? Because I had been searching for this baby for too long, and I know those doctor things because I am a nutritionist. So I knew when you have threatened miscarriage, when you are bleeding, it's a possibility that you're having a miscarriage. So I was crying and asking God, why is this happening to me? I really need this baby. I've been searching for this baby for too long. Please don't take them away from me. So I arrived at the gynecologist's place. To my surprise, alikuwa. I met him. I went inside. I was still bleeding, but the bleeding had actually subsided. So I went inside. He started asking me questions. The first thing he did was take my blood pressure. He took my blood pressure. It was okay. He asked me some questions. Is this your first pregnancy? Have you been bleeding? How long have you been bleeding for? I answered all those questions, and he did a vaginal examination, a VE, and he told me, right now, okay, you're not bleeding a lot, but there's a possibility, and we won't be able to know if you don't have an ultrasound to actually make sure that the baby is okay, and make sure that there is a heartbeat, or there is because this is a threatened miscarriage. So after hearing it's a threatened miscarriage, I started crying, but the doctor was just okay. He just advised me that he told me it's God's doing. Whatever God's want with this baby will happen. I didn't, that all along I hadn't called my hubby because he was far away. So he was working far away. He was actually still in Chuka. So he was coming through in the weekends. So after all this, when I'm going through all these, I hadn't called him, and it was just up to me. So after the doctor told me I had to hand an ultrasound so that you can know the status of the baby, whether the baby is okay or whether the baby has actually died. So actually, the best part with this, that the hospital that I was in, we were doing those ultrasounds. So I went there, I did the ultrasound, and to my surprise and to God's, it was just God. I say it was just God. The baby was okay. There was a heartbeat, and I was really glad. I was really happy that my baby was okay. So I went back to the gynecologist. I gave back the results, and the doctor told me, what you need to do right now, you should get a bed rest. He wrote a letter and recommended that I have 2 weeks bed rest. Bed rest actually means no nothing, no doing anything, just resting, so that the baby is not stressed and the baby grows well, so that there will not be another threatened miscarriage. After that, I went back to the hospital I was in. I called the doctor, my employer now, who had connected me with the gynecologist. I called him and told him that I was back. The results were back, and I have been recommended for a bed rest. He was actually a very good doctor, and he allowed me to go for the bed rest, for the 2-week rest. So I went. Actually, I couldn't go back to my place because my hubby was not around. So my mom called back. During the day, my mom had called back and I explained what had happened, and my mom recommended that I come home because it's the best place for me to stay, so that she can be able to take care of me, because my hubby was actually not around always. And when I told my hubby this, actually he was also shocked. He was also afraid, and he told me, what you'll do, because your mom is a nurse, you should go home and get checked up. So I went home. I came home, and my mom was just really caring. My mom is always there, and I thank God for her. She's been with me through a lot. So I came home. I stayed for the first week. I stayed for the 2 weeks, the two recommended weeks of bed rest, and the gynecologist has told me when I finish the 2 weeks, I should go back, get another ultrasound, and get some medication. Actually, the gynecologist recommended some medication that I was to be taking, so that the womb would be strong enough to be able to hold the baby, to prevent the threatened miscarriage. So there was some 2 drugs that I was given, so that I can be able to be taking to strengthen the womb for the weight, so that I can be able to carry the weight of the baby. So I took the drugs, I went on the bed rest, and I went back again. And after going back to my workplace, I stayed there. I continued working. I worked. Right when I had that threatened miscarriage, it was actually 8 weeks. So it happened again after 2 weeks of going back to work. It happened again at around 10 weeks. It happened again at around 10 weeks. The bleeding came again. And when the bleeding came again, actually went back to the doctor. And now he said that I need to be careful. I needed not to go with borders, not to do very heavy work, so that we can prevent what is happening. So, trust you me, I was given another month of bed rest. Actually, I remember that month I didn't go to work, and my employer actually paid me. For the month that I was not at work, he actually paid me. So I thank him for everything that he did. Actually, my pregnancy was my first pregnancy was really tempting. It was really stressing. And I thank God for everything that happened. So I went for another bed rest, for a month of bed rest. And during that month of bed rest, I was going to have my checkups with the gynecologist. And there was one gynecologist I went to. I don't forget this. And he told me, we don't have he said, Doreen, we don't have the mandate to make sure that this baby will be fine, but he may be dead, he may die, he may live. So we don't have the say. Actually, it's the baby who is going to decide whether he or she wants to live or he or she wants to die. So what I did is just I prayed and prayed each day. Each coming day I prayed for my baby to be well. And trust you me, God is a God who hears. Because after all these struggles, after all these first trimester struggles, my baby was okay. And right now, my baby is okay. My baby is fine. Actually, we are 4 years old. Next month, Batuan will be 5 years old. So I just say everything is just God. When you're going through so many trials, when you're going through so many temptations, the only thing that can help you is God. And God is a God who hears. Because I actually call my firstborn my miracle. Because if at all it was not God, my baby would never have survived. After the 2 threatened miscarriages, she would have never survived. So I just look at her and thank God. I look at her and thank God each coming day. So, and please guys, if you've not subscribed to this channel, kindly I beg you to do that, because I have so many interesting videos to share with you about my life, about my babies, about my relationship, about lifestyle, and so much more. Please comment, like, share, and hit that subscription button for more of my videos. Thank you. Ciao guys.